After his business dissolved, Mary Monaghan's husband John left for an overseas trip and never returned. For 6 years she waited for him, not knowing whether he was dead or alive. Then, knowing she had to move on, she got their marriage annulled and captured her story in a book, Remember Me, describing the first words she said to him after tracking him down.
How much of a leap of faith was it for you to write your story, to put it out there?
It was a big leap of faith. It really was. I mean, it was something that people had known in general what my story was, but I hadn't really gone into great detail. There were many things in there that I hadn't really shared with people because I didn't want them to know the full extent of the issues I was having. So it was a difficult time for me, and I tried to do different things to cope and get myself through it. And people just said, share your story, it will help other people, it's an interesting story, it will help them relate and maybe find a way for themselves too. I decided to publish in Ireland thinking it would probably be fairly low-key. And we released the information to the media there, and they really picked up on it, particularly the tabloids. So it became headline news in many of the newspapers, and I was invited to go over and do television, talk show, radio show, things like that. And I thought, you know, why not?
By chance, John was visiting Ireland at the same time that Mary was there.
I was walking down the road to meet his aunt, and he stood out in front of me. It was like seeing a ghost. Instinctively, I reacted by turning my back on him and just putting my hands to my face. And I just was rooted to the spot. I could not move, I couldn't speak. I just couldn't do anything. For that moment, it was just too much. It was just too much to just see him out of the blue like that. I asked him, did he intend to come back? When he went away, was his intention to come back? Because I'd always maintained to myself, in my mind, that when he went away, that was his intention. It happened differently, but he actually had meant to come back.
What did he say?
He said, yes, he had meant to come back. But things just got too much. It became overwhelming. I think he knew that life back home was going to be difficult. What was very interesting for me was that we sat across the table, and there wasn't one iota of my being that actually wanted to move my hand forward, to touch his hand or to do anything. I actually didn't feel any urge to touch him. It was just, yeah.
You didn't love him anymore?
I didn't love him in the same way. I think part of me would always have a certain love for him because he was the first love of my life. But I don't think I could ever love him or be with him again. And so it was just weird to sit with almost a stranger, this man that had caused me so much hurt, and yet I didn't feel anything. And it was almost as if to say, all those years, what really was the big deal? Here's this man sitting opposite me, and do I really, really love him anymore? And was it actually, a lot of it, was it a waste of time waiting for this person who didn't deserve to be waited for?
It was a chance meeting that led to so much more, determining the course of Mary's life. Again, she felt the need to write.
So there I was, met him unexpectedly, and that was really what led to my second book, Who Do You Belong To? I mean, the first one I'd written thinking that was the end of the line, so Remember Me was going to be the one and only book I'd written. And then by meeting him by chance, I needed to tell the end of the story. And that's what led to my second book.
Who do you belong to? What were you saying in the title?
Who Do You Belong To was something that had happened to me many years before at a party in an Irish house. And I was standing in the kitchen with one of my friends, and an old Irish guy came in and greeted my friend Joan and said to me, and who are you? And I said, I'm Mary. And he said, and who do you belong to? And I was horrified because I thought, you know, there it is. I'm only somebody in as much as I belong to somebody. And the point of that is really saying, I belong to myself. So who do you belong to? I don't think anybody would really be asking me that now.
Everything that she did in that period was fantastic because she went through of being as poor as a church mouse and then getting the house built in Grotto Bay, living there, and sort of almost living a bit of a dream. And that was great.
So what's life like now for Mary Monaghan?
Life is fabulous. I'm having a great life. It's when you look back and say, you know, if only this hadn't happened or that hadn't happened, but it was something that happened for a reason, and it's made me who I am. So I'm loving my life.
Mary's work involves helping people deal with change in their own lives, and she travels frequently across South Africa to do this. Today, Mary Monaghan is waiting for no one.